Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping straight into, well, the really interesting, sometimes complicated world of public education in Trinidad and Tobago. We're focusing specifically on the teacher workforce.
Right.
Now, we've looked at official government stats, policy announcements, public media statements, too.
A mix of sources.
Exactly. And a quick heads up. The most detailed data we have is from 2018-2019, so there's a bit of a time lag.
Which is common, unfortunately.
Yeah, but our mission here is really to boil it all down and understand what's actually happening, give you the clearest possible picture. Okay, let's unpack this.
Sounds good. Because, understanding the teachers, that's fundamental. They're the absolute backbone of any education system. And this dive, it synthesizes those different sources, tries to give you that holistic view. Even with the data limitations, you can still pull out key insights you see.
Right, and to really get a handle on the system, we kind of have to start with the basics, the raw numbers. Just how big is this workforce?
Well, it's substantial. Back in 2018-2019, the figures showed approximately 13,906 teachers in the public system.
Okay.
More recently, an estimate from around November 2024 puts it closer to 13,500.
So a pretty stable, large group providing a huge public service.
Definitely.
And looking at the workforce itself, something that really jumped out at me from the data was the gender composition.
Oh, yeah.
It's overwhelmingly female, isn't it? Something like 80.9% at the primary level and still over 70%, 71.3% at secondary.
That's right. And it's not unique to Trinidad and Tobago, actually. That's a consistent trend you see globally in education.
Interesting.
But what's fascinating here, I think, is how the system is very deliberately shifting. There's a big push towards more professionalization.
Okay, tell us about that.
Well, historically, you could potentially enter teaching with, say, 5 CXC or GCE levels, the basic academic background, and then get trained while working.
Right, in-service training.
Exactly. Now, the policy is quite clear. A university degree is mandatory for all permanent teaching appointments.
That's a big change.
It is, and it goes further. New teachers now need a certificate of good character from the police service. They're even using psychometric testing.
Wow, okay.
It's clearly a strategy, a deliberate effort to elevate the status of teaching as a profession. It's quite a significant move.
So the system's aiming for higher standards, which sounds, positive. But then there's this paradox we found looking through the material. Can you sort of unpack why, if there's this big pool of qualified people, we're still seeing reports of hundreds of teacher vacancies?
That's right. It is a critical disconnect, isn't it? You've got this professionalization drive, lots of qualified applicants apparently. Yet, as of November 2024, you're still looking at over 400 unfilled jobs, about 140 in primary schools and around 293 in secondary.
So yeah, it raises that question. Why the bottleneck? What's holding things up?
The sources point to, several layers. First, the recruitment process itself is often described as slow. Causing some bureaucratic inefficiency is definitely part of it.
Okay, red tape.
Red tape, yes. And then there are significant political disputes. For instance, there's been reported friction with some denominational school boards. Groups like the Sanatan Dharma Mahasabha, for example, have raised concerns about changes to the recruitment process and how it relates to that old 1960 Concordat.
Right, that agreement between the state and religious bodies.
Precisely. And on top of all that, you get these procedural setbacks, like interview questions for the entry-level teacher in jobs were apparently leaked on social media.
No, seriously?
Yeah, it forced them to scrap the whole process and start again.
Wow. Leaked questions. That's not just inefficiency. That must hit public confidence hard. And what a massive headache for everyone trying to hire.
A huge setback.
It really points to maybe a lack of tight oversight somewhere. So beyond these systemic hiring challenges, there's another crucial aspect, isn't there? Something that really undermines trust if it's not handled right.
What's that?
The integrity of the qualifications themselves, academic fraud.
Ah, yes. Absolutely critical. And it's crucial to understand this isn't just, unethical. Falsifying your qualifications is a serious criminal offense in Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, so what does the law actually say?
Well, the specifics are under the Forgery Act, Chapter 11.13. It details 2 key offenses. Forgery, which is actually making the false document, and uttering, which means using that false document, knowing it's false, with the intent to defraud someone. Both are prosecutable.
And the penalty?
It can include imprisonment for up to 2 years if convicted.
Okay, so the legal framework is pretty robust then?
It seems so, yes.
Yes.
The real challenge, it seems, lies less in the law itself and more in strengthening the preventative measures, the verification processes before someone gets into the system.
Right. Makes sense. So to kind of pull this together, what we seem to have uncovered is a dedicated workforce that's undergoing this big professionalization push. But it's also grappling with these really significant systemic recruitment problems and this underlying need for, well, rock-solid verification of credentials.
Yeah.
It feels like the system isn't necessarily short on people wanting to teach or even on laws, but maybe more on efficient, transparent ways of actually getting things done.
That sums it up well. And that really leaves us and leaves you, the listener, with a final thought to chew on, perhaps. How crucial is it, really, for public services and education? Is a prime example to have more than just strong laws and policies.
You mean like the systems behind them?
Exactly. Dynamic, transparent data systems and absolutely ironclad ways to verify things. How much does that matter for building public trust and ensuring, the highest quality service? And maybe what responsibility do the institutions themselves have to push past the bureaucracy, the political hurdles, ultimately for the benefit of the students?